What is up, YouTube? How's everybody out there doing today? I hope you guys are having a fabulous freaking day. We have an update for everybody out there on good old Ghost. I don't know if you guys have seen the past videos of me drag racing Ghost, but you can tell that like in those videos, in those drag racing videos, I've had a little bit of an issue getting the tires to hook up, stay straight down the track, and not go wiggly woggly all over the place. And I'm going to explain to you why. Well, honestly, I just have a airbag actually in the back of this car on this side right here. Stock sway bar, stock suspension, except for some three-way adjustable comp engineering shocks in the rear, and an Eibach drag launch kit, spring kit in the rear of this car and in the front as well. So I've been very limited on how I can launch this car and how I can get this thing out of the hole properly in order to get some very, very good track passes down the drag strip and make this thing really work. Now, she's gone fast. She's gone 100 and almost 40 miles an hour, but her time, her ET, has suffered because of the fact that my suspension has been not where it needs to be or up to par with what I'm doing with this car and the 1,030 horsepower that it's making on the Huron Speed turbo kit and the Golen engines, 370 built, short block, and all the other mods we got, Lunati Cam, SPS cylinder heads, so on and so forth. So she's making the power to do a good time, but unfortunately her suspension is not where it needs to be. We have a fix for that today, and we're going to show you what that is. And we're also going to do a little video of the install of what that is, and maybe you guys can see, but it is a good old Bmr Suspension Drag Bar. This is their extreme drag bar. It is part number, let's see here, part number, there's the part number right there, guys. It is part number BMR XSB001R. As you can see, it's their extreme anti-roll kit, rear hollow, and it fits a number of axles as well, which is pretty freaking cool. Now I will explain to you, my Midwest chassis 9-inch rear end is back braced. So fortunately they send you a couple different options for attaching this sway bar, which is, not gonna lie, is a freaking nice sway bar here. I mean, look at this thing. But anyways, they give you a few different options on how to attach this sway bar to the rear axle if you run a 10-bolt rear end, a 12-bolt, or a 9-inch. The first way is obviously these guys right here, polyurethane mounts. The second way is these round the tube clamps with little teeth in them. On my particular setup, since I do have a back braced 9-inch rear end, I'm going to be using these guys instead of the clamps, because I just, you know, it won't fit around the rear, unfortunately. The one thing I will point out and tell you guys immediately is I do like the fact that these heim joints that will connect to the sway bar, which I'll show you here when we do the install, these heim joints are extremely thick and they look strong as hell. Let's get this thing on the lift. Let's take off the stock sway bar, which is puny. We'll do a comparison of the BMR sway bar compared to the stock sway bar. You guys are going to be completely amazed by the size difference. And then get this thing installed, guys. She is smoking hot, guys. Look at that. Alright guys, now that the car's up in the air here, I want to tell you guys that I haven't had this thing on the lift since I put it together, since it was put together. And let's take a look. I want to see if there's like any oil leaks or anything like that. But I do got to change the serpentine belt on this thing because it is squeaking. This is a good old turbo. That seems to be doing good. Good old Huron Speed turbo, Golen engine, a little bit of an oil leak right there. But this is a crap pan. I am looking to do like a Moroso pan in the future with like the baffle setup. I think it would be greatly beneficiary to this this setup. But yeah, everything's looking kind of okay, except for a few little drops of oil here and there. The manifolds look good. The clutch still looks good. The throwout bearing probably needs to be replaced, but that's not that big of a deal. We have the torque arm. That's all there where it needs to be. The Midwest chassis 9-inch rear end, all intact. And as you guys can see, like I was explaining to you, I do have the back brace set up on this, and it's not going to work with the clamps they sent. So that's the nice thing, is I can actually use the bushing type setup as well. I used to have a Midwest chassis drag bar on this vehicle as well, but that's actually one of the brackets right there. The bracket actually broke off on this side. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it broke off, so I didn't put it back on. I just literally been running a stock sway bar on this thing. So let's get this sway bar off and then put the new sway bar and the old sway bar side by side. All right, look at this puny little thing. Let's pick her up, walk her over to the new sway bar setup, take a look at the comparison, and there you go, guys. As you can see, the Bmr drag bar is significantly larger in diameter than the puny stock sway bar on this car. And I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, man, you were running a stock sway bar on that thing and launching it? Yep, I was. But now, thanks to Bmr, I got this badass setup, which we're going to go ahead and install. See how she looks when she's all done. One of the first things we need to do is take out these stock bolts for the stock bracket. Okay. Oh, look, I dropped everything. Oh my god. Come here, socket. It's kind of hard doing this one-handed, guys. Like, look at that. Get on there. Got it. All right, let's get this other one off. And off. And there's my socket again. Let's get the other side off too. All right, as you guys can see, the new brackets are in, but there is one other step that we need to do to this bracket in order to make sure it's nice and secure and it's not going to like rip out or move or anything of that nature. And in order to do that, you have to take the top of the shock out here, which is inside. I'm not going to show you that, but it's pretty simple. It's like a nut. It comes off. You can move this shock out of the way. And unfortunately for me, I don't have exhaust on this, so this is going to be a little bit easier for me to do. But you need to drill a hole up in here. There's a little spacer and a bolt that goes in place. But this is the other side. A little bit better view of what you have to do. Like I said, I can get these from the back side because I don't have fuel line exhaust in the way. For people that are running stock exhaust systems that go over the back here, you're going to have to have no choice, unfortunately, but to remove the shock. Plus, it just makes it a little bit easier to get that drill in there and be able to do it properly. All right, as you guys can see, these are all bolted up. We have the spacer in there with the washer on the side and the nut and bolt. That's one side right there. Here's the other side right there. So it looks like it's going to be a real good stable kit to basically hold this sway bar in place and not rip out or not move or and stuff like that. So let's get the sway bar on the bottom here and show you what that looks like. All right, guys, the sway bar is in. We have a fuel line and we need to tie up and stuff. Other than that, the end links are on. The sway bar is considerably thicker. I'm just happy it matches the actual rear, which is really nice. It's sent in red. So we are going to talk about this here for a minute. I know it looks kind of weird because things aren't adjusted yet, but we are going to talk about that right now. But this sway bar looks extremely good. I got to grease these up here a little bit. I'm still looking for my grease gun. So, but yeah, once I get my grease gun, I can grease these bushings up, these polys, and I think this sway bar is going to do some really really good work for making this car launch the way it's supposed to. All right, guys, very simple install. Not a terrible thing to do. Anybody can pretty much do it either on the ground or on a lift in the shop. We're gonna be making a totally different video on how to adjust the sway bar. Now, what I'm most excited about is this setup, this sway bar setup is supposed to be very good with street manners. Instead of like going with a straight drag setup that is not gonna be very friendly on the street, it's gonna make a lot of noise, a lot of rattling. The Bmr Suspension anti-roll bar is supposed to be very good when it comes to street driving and drag racing. So I'm very excited to take this thing for a test drive after we get it adjusted and see what it sounds like on the street driving around, which we'll do a little video of that as well, probably after we're done adjusting it. But like I said, the next video will be of us adjusting this sway bar, getting it ready for launching and stuff. There's a certain way you got to do things, and I'll show you guys all about that in the next video. I want to give a huge shout out to Bmr for hooking me up with this sway bar. Their information will be the first link in the description, and they will also have a link in the sponsored section all the way down at the bottom of my description with all my other sponsors: Huron Speed, SPS cylinder heads, Golen engines, all the other guys, Gentek Performance, Lunati, etc. They'll be down there, so they will now be in that list as well, so you can go check them out. They have all kinds of really awesome parts for not only the 93 to 02 F bodies, but for almost all year F bodies, Mustang, a whole bunch of different vehicles as well. So go check them guys out. Second link in the description is going to be a discount code from Bmr Suspension themselves. So if you are going to buy anything from them guys, go ahead and use that discount code, get yourself a little bit of a break on the pricing, and enjoy the product that you buy. Other than that, guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Instagram is Diablo Formula Racing. Facebook is also Diablo Formula Racing. We're getting this car ready for spring drag racing, guys. It's going to be freaking amazing. We have a few more things coming for it, which we'll be doing videos on. I think you guys are going to be very interested to see. So keep an eye out. Deuces.